A business can only grow to the level its leadership feels safe holding.
Hello and welcome back to another Halcyon HR chat. I am Dee, for those who are new here, and I'm here with Jade Gaia, who is an energetics and mindset coach. Hello and welcome, Jade.
Hello. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome. I'm so glad you could be here today. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how it can relate to business owners.
Yes. So I work with the energetics and the mindset, particularly subconscious reprogramming, which I think is so important in business and for teams and for leaders and for anyone that is actually running a business, because the subconscious mind is actually what is running the show of our reality. So many people in life will be making decisions based from their conscious mind. So, just we're thinking and that's what we're doing, whereas that's only 5% of the results that we actually get. So 95% of our behaviors are actually driven from the subconscious mind. And the best way to understand that is kind of like it's a supercomputer. And so the subconscious holds all the data from everything that we've learned over our lifetime, the good and the bad, and the beliefs that we've created from the experiences that we've had in life. So as an example, many people in business, they're wanting growth, they're wanting success, they're wanting cohesive teams, learning how to communicate well and be a good leader. But if they've got beliefs in their subconscious mind that is running the show, where there might be fears around visibility or certain levels of growth or worthiness or safety in being a leader, or people that come in as even colleagues that have any sort of fear, these beliefs then run the show of how they behave for productivity, but also with one another. So we can often, it's like a goal. We can often say, okay, so if the goal is to bring in 5 new team members, and that leader didn't actually believe internally that he was capable of leading so many team members, then he would unconsciously, or she unconsciously, sabotage those relationships, and those people could leave, as an example, right? And it's the same as having money goals. If your subconscious and your energy field are not there's no belief that you're able to hold a certain amount of money, like your threshold is capped, then you'll unconsciously lose the money, right? So it really matters in business, because it's not just strategy. Mindset is 80% of what creates the goal. Okay, and then 95% of that is being ran from the subconscious mind, which many people don't even know what their beliefs are that are going on, and what their threshold of stress is, and what their nervous system capacity is. So capacity is a big one too.
So that would be quite hard though for people, like you said, some people don't even know. I feel like in this short space of time, people will be sitting there going, what even is half of what you said? Like, how do we know about our stress capacity? How do we know what our subconscious mind's thinking? Because it's subconscious. So that in itself poses so many questions. How can people go on a bit of a learning curve or a bit of a journey in that regard?
Well, what is happening on the external is what is going on the internal. So just say with HR, right? So you'll have people that come with conflict with their leader, or conflict with their colleagues, or bullying, or certain levels of stress, or having mental breakdowns, or getting injured. Say their subconscious is creating the injuries, is creating the issues with someone. So whatever you see on the external is what's going on the inside. So to be able to understand, it's like, okay, well, if I have a business and there's this constant conflict that happens amongst my staff. Like everyone I hire, there's always a drama or there's always conflict that I then have to try and sort out. It's a mirror of that leader's internal nervous system regulation or emotional capacity or communication capacity, because they're the one attracting those colleagues, and the mirror is the colleagues are showing them that there are issues. So it's always like, or if there's like something stuck for you, you're like, this keeps happening over and over again, and we think it's something being done to us, but actually it's a belief that is creating that to be so, whatever the issue is. Does that make sense? It's quite a deep topic.
That is so deep. It is.
So it's like, I've put here as notes, it's like, so a business can only grow to the level its leadership feels safe holding. So if a leader cannot expand their capacity of receiving, then they're going to have all of these issues to show that this is the cap. No matter what they do, they'll keep coming back to this capacity, the threshold, right? And it's the same with stress. So, for example, your business is, being really productive at turning over, I don't know, 100K a month, let's just make an example. And the goal is to go to the next level. So say it's 120K that month, but you keep getting these roadblocks no matter what you do. It just doesn't come in. The goal never gets achieved. And it's because there's a capacity inside the leader that will not allow any more to come in. And the reason that is so is because it's not safe in their nervous system, or there's a belief it's not safe to hold any more than that capacity. So what Psych K does, so it's called Psych K, which is subconscious reprogramming. It's psychology and the energetics mixed together, where we then go in using whole brain postures. Okay, so we do certain postures in the body that then create new neural pathways to create a belief or a pattern to how you wish it to be instead of where they are currently at. So, I mean, in a session, we would say, okay, well, what's the issue? What's the problem that is happening? And then we would go in to see, we ask the body, we speak to the subconscious, and we ask the body using kinesiology, what's the issue? Is this the capacity? So you can speak to the body and it tells you the answer. So it could be like, for some, it could be like, I am not worthy of a certain amount of money, or it's not safe to hold this, or my nervous system cannot hold any further capacity. So usually when I'm working with business, it's capacity, so the threshold to be able to allow more in. So when it's growth, that's like the new levels, new devils. I love that saying, because it's like we can reach a goal, as I said, but then when we want to expand, whether that be in a personal goal, a business goal, bringing on more staff, the threshold hits, and that's where the subconscious fears will show up. There's fears of like, can I hold it? Can I be a good enough leader? Am I going to be able to manage that amount of money? Like, there's all these internal limiting beliefs that can block anyone's goals of achieving the next level.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
That is pretty huge.
So when you know this, like, it's like magic, or it's like a little tool in your pocket to help you keep achieving those next goals quickly, easily, and effectively. So you're not constantly looping in the same stuff, which many businesses have. And it's the same with people that are like, every job I go to, I always end up in conflict with a colleague, because their internal belief is they're not worthy, probably, of relationships, or they don't think that they're a good person. It's so deep. So then they keep creating these patterns to show that they're not worthy by always being in conflict with someone.
Okay.
Like, you could change so many jobs, but you're not changing the internal beliefs that are actually creating the problem. So until you can go in and actually so we flip the negative belief to a positive one or a supporting one in the brain, in the pathways. When you change that, your reality changes.
Yeah, and you can go from self-sabotaging, because that's effectively what it is,
Yes.
to actually having that success and that vision that you want to achieve, make it a reality.
Absolutely. And so often when it comes, I see it all the time, you know, as a leader, and you've got constantly having staff issues, right? So that's to do with the leader internal, that they don't maybe feel worthy of a successful business, or they don't believe that they're a good leader. So they're constantly getting these roadblocks or these people to show them there's something that's not positive. Like they need to flip one of the beliefs to help support them in being that good leader, believing they are. Because if you believe you are a great leader, you believe you have a successful business, then so you shall have. Right. Yeah. Obviously, there's layers to that, and that's like the new levels, new devils as well as we expand. And there's the next layer that comes up that you might not even have known it was there because you haven't been to that level yet.
Yes.
So there are different fears and different beliefs that come up. So it is quite deep in explaining, but it's basically what's going on in the inside, or what beliefs you have is what shows up on the outside. So if ever you see that there's these same patterns or these same blocks, it's because something needs to be flipped in the belief systems.
Okay, so for those that are starting to sit here and go, oh, wow, we're starting to identify these patterns, bit of a linear question, what could they potentially do?
Come and see me. So yeah, like it is awareness is one of the first parts, but so often people will come to me and say, oh my gosh, I have this frustrating loop that is, I just feel stuck in this spot and I don't know why. So like I said, it's coaching. So it's like chatting with someone about the problems, and then often they can stem back to things that were said to them in the past, stressful situations, stressful events, past experiences that have then created a fear or a block in the mind. So then we can clear the stress from those situations for them. So it's like relieving the stress. So when we're talking about stress, it's a big thing in business. So I will always help relieve the stress of the situation, of whatever it is first, even if it's the whole thing. And then we go, okay, well, what's the next? And often people are very, as we talk, I'll get the indication of what the first problem is. And the main ones people have, it's worthiness, so lack of self-worth, lack of safety. They don't feel safe in whatever situation. You know, feeling, I mean, not so much business related, but it can be, it's like not feeling lovable, and capacity in the nervous system. That's the biggest one. Because if your nervous system is not regulated, everything blows up. So we can be, you know, we have emotional breakdowns, we can snap at people, we can make the wrong decisions. And that energy filters through to everybody, so then everyone starts to feel that. And that's why, like, when you're in a group, if someone is off, then the rest of the people are off, right?
Yeah.
So Psych-K can help with shifting belief systems, which I said some people might be able to reflect and see what it might be. Otherwise, they might come in with just this issue, and then I end up uncovering all the rest that they didn't even know were there, to then support them to completely shift the way forward to achieve the result or the goal that they're after.
Yeah, I feel like that would happen a fair bit. They come in thinking it's one thing or one tiny thing, and suddenly they're being made aware of there's a lot.
It takes us on a journey. So like, yeah. It takes you to places that you didn't even know that issue. I mean, and that's the deep part that might have happened when you were 5, that someone said you're never going to amount to anyone or you're stupid, stays in that database, and then you actually are running the show from that without realizing. So you might have been told you were stupid, and then you're trying to run a business and be a leader, and then these you can unconsciously sabotage because you think you're not smart enough to run that business. And so it just blocks you. It's just like this push and pull. And I've experienced this in my own life, and this is why I know that this works, because I've been on my own healing journey deeply for 5 years. This is part of healing, but it's also the mindset. Like I said, it's 95% of our results and our reality is being ran from this database that we don't even know half the things that are in there.
That's it.
So
Well, I think remember those feelings. So if someone said something in the past, we've stepped out, we've gone, hey, we've got this great idea, and somebody shuts it down, then naturally the next time your body's learnt, the last time I did that, I didn't get the outcome I wanted. So I'm either not going to do it again, or if I am going to do it again, it's going to be just like a little toe in the water versus all in.
Yeah, and that's safety, right? So that's another there's big chunks, like I said, it's the wordiness, the safety, the capacity are the big ones that are underlying for everything. So it's like, well, last time I did that, I didn't get a very positive response. And so if I do that, so it's like the ego, that's where the ego can come in too, but it is the belief systems where it's trying to keep you safe to not experience that pain again of what the body remembers happened that first time you did it. So many people that have businesses, if they look back, they'll see these patterns that have happened along the journey, even though they might have changed to different businesses. And I can attest to that. It's not a lack of willpower. Like, you can have all the willpower you want, but if it doesn't, it's like affirmations as an example. You can say, I am worthy till you're blue in the face. You can say it out loud, but if your subconscious doesn't believe it, it's not going to change in your reality. So, I am worthy of making $1,000 a day. You can say it and you can write it, but if your subconscious is like, no, you're stupid, how are you going to do that? You're not worthy of $1,000 a day, then it's going to you're going to keep sabotaging or blowing your game up without realizing, or making mistakes is a really big one. People making mistakes or doing the wrong thing, but they're all self-sabotage. Does that make sense? It's so fascinating.
I think every business owner out there, regardless of who you are and what industry, at some point you've had one of those doubts, those fears, do I have the ability to, do I have the capacity, all of those thoughts running through the back of your mind and going, is this the right step? Do I hire this person? Can I take it to the next level? Should I reach this KPI? Should I put myself on camera out in public? What are people going to think? We've all had those fears to some degree, or those setbacks. But naturally, some of us have taken that step forward, whether it's a small step forward or a big step forward. That forward step obviously is one of those things that can either help us reprogram, like you're talking about, that neural pathway, or it's going to solidify what we thought we already know. So in that regard, what would you advise to people that are going to try and take that next step, or considering taking that next step?
Yeah, so, and that's the thing, we can be brave in the moment. So that's bravery, right? It's having courage, and action is so important to overcome those fear states. As we know, you feel the fear, you move forward anyway. For some it's like debilitating, right? And it's a visceral feeling, and that's the nervous system going into freeze state. So that's where Psych K is really powerful, as we can help shift the stress in the nervous system, but also teach the brain and be like, no, it's safe. It is safe now, body, brain, to step forward into XYZ. It is safe now to be seen. It is safe now to be visible. Or, we're actually creating goal statements and we cement them into the neural pathways. That is what Psych K is, right? So we can, my advice is, always to be brave and do the actions. But as I said, you can step forward for a short moment, and then that belief might pop in, and then you end up falling back. So that's why the path is not a straight line, right?
No.
And I mean, one thing I could teach people to take away is the whole brain posture is one of the postures or balances that we do use in Psych K. However, it's incredible for helping to balance the two hemispheres of your brain, right? So what happens is when we have like overwhelm or stress, is because, you know, the two hemispheres are not in balance. So we're going more into the emotional brain, and then you've got your logical brain. So when we're having overwhelm, it's like we could be really overthinking and then it debilitates us, or we could be highly emotional from the stress and that also shuts you down, right? So in the workplace, an amazing practice anyone can do at their desk in any moment that they're stressed is when we cross over in an energetic the field. So there's the two parts. So we're then connecting in with the two hemispheres of the brain. We cross the arms and we cross the ankles. So the ankles are crossed over, the arms are crossed over. I like to hold my hands like this, and you could just sit here like this at your desk. You don't need to close your eyes, but you could, and just take some breaths like into your belly and out. It will instantly regulate your nervous system.
I love that, because like you said, they can be sitting down at their desk and doing that.
And no one needs to know. Like, so I have suffered anxiety a lot in my life, and social anxiety. And when I learnt this, I was like, I have been doing that my whole life. I would just stand there like that without realizing that I was actually regulating my nervous system. It was just an automatic thing that I did unconsciously, probably remembering from some other time in life, I don't know. But I teach my kids this. It's for anyone, right? For children, for adults, for any human with a brain. It's crossing the two hemispheres of the brain. It's called, whole brain posture, and it's part of brain gym. And I feel like it's a really positive thing leaders could even do before they're doing a speech. You know, they could sit there and just regulate themselves in that way with the breath and the whole brain, come into the body and then go again. Another one is the fingertips touching, because this is like the two hemispheres of the brain as well, right? So this is the energetics part, but it works because we are energy, and this is how we cross, the hemispheres and bring our whole energetic sphere, so body, mind, soul, into a whole brain state, right? So that's a tip that I teach everyone that I see. But in regards to actually flipping the script, getting the results that you want, whether that be in team, monetarily, capacity, then I would highly recommend seeing what it's like, having a go at Psyche. There are many ways to, there are other methods of subconscious reprogramming, but they're longer. So from my own experience, I found that Psyche it's fast, safe, effective. It happens the quickest. You know, like usually what we're taught in subconscious reprogramming and neural pathway support, you can do hypnosis, but you've got to do it every day, 30 days. You can say affirmations, and you say it over and over again, 30 days. No one does that because everyone gets bored. You know, because that's the consistency. Everyone's busy, you forget. So I have found this, and that's why this particular method has been so impactful in my life and my clients' life, because it's quick, it works instantly, and it helps you to then layer whatever other beliefs that you need to change to get the result. And I think in teams and workplaces, it's really important because, if you're able to understand that someone's having or struggling, you can be like, okay, well, it's stuff going on within their mindset, and it can be supported quickly and easily, right? I feel like this is a really good quote. It's like, many leaders are unconsciously operating from survival. Most of us are operating from a survival pattern because that's how we grew up, or that's society, is very much survival system ways of thinking. So many leaders are unconsciously operating from survival mode while trying to lead growth-led businesses. If you're in a scarcity survival mindset, you can't create growth, basically, because you're in opposite energy.
Yes.
And I've been in this, like, try, do so many things. You can do all the actions till you're blue in the face, until you burn out, which normally is what happens, because we have patterns that my productivity is based on my actions, you know, or your worth is relative to the amount of work that you do. And this is where we're like, you work hard to get the result, which is just a belief. What if we could have a belief that it could be easy to get the results? I don't have to work hard. I can do many actions, but with ease and flow, right? So we can believe whatever we want. And I've seen it work for so many people. So yeah, it's just observing your external environment, what is not working, and then how do you want it to be instead? And that's what Psyche can help with.
It's pretty awesome that it's not just obviously related to business. It can be related to, as you said earlier, social anxiety or just things in our social lives. The whole aspect, which is awesome. So if people wanted to explore this further, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so my name's Jade Gaia on Instagram and Facebook. I do actually have a May special at the moment as well, so it could be really great timing that we're talking.
Tell us about it then.
So I do use, it's called the 3 pillars of health, and I work with the nervous system, the energetics, and the subconscious mind, because I believe that the 3 is what creates the quickest result long-term and lasting. You can do them individually, but if you do them all together, quicker results. That's what we want. No one wants to take time anymore. Everything's too fast as it is. We just need to get it going, right? And I can do those sessions. They're an hour and a half, and I can do them online or in Brisbane. I'm in north side of Brisbane, near Chermside. And so normally they're at 250, and I'm doing it for 144 for the month.
Fabulous.
So they are very powerful.
So for our listeners, we'll pop those details in this as well. There'll be a direct link if you want to book with Jade. But Jade, and wrapping up, I guess one key takeaway that you want people, you want everyone to know this about what you do. What would you say?
About what I do? Oh, I think it's actually like reality shifting and life changing. So if you just don't have to struggle anymore. We don't have to be in these survival, hard, I call it the sea of suffering ways of living anymore, because there are so many beautiful methods out there that can support us in body, mind, and soul. And it really is about opening up to new ways and just giving something a go that could completely shift your life, and that the mind is so powerful. And literally what is going on the inside is what is being created on the outside. So, and that we have the power to change that. We just have to take our power back and choose to step forward into, ways of supporting ourselves.
I love that. Supporting ourselves, guys. Support yourself instead of being supportive and going,
I'm your team, right? It's like you can see your team and they're struggling. It might not always be you. You might see a team member that's struggling or a colleague, and you're like, that there's ways that can support them, even encouraging them to, look within and see if there's something that can help them feel better. That's what we want. We want more light on the planet. We want more people feeling good. We want more people thriving, and it's possible, and it can be done easily. It's, it's honestly changed my life, and I just want to share it with everybody because it's like a little secret weapon. I mean, we have been hearing about subconscious reprogramming more and more, which is amazing. It really works. Yeah. It's just giving it a go.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us, and we'll obviously, hopefully, hear from you again soon.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much for having me. And lots of blessings to everyone, and maybe I'll get to see some of you on the other side.
Wonderful. Thank you.
No worries. Bye, hun.